Hey guys, welcome to another week of Creole. Today I'm walking down Carousel and I got my mask on because COVID. So I'm gonna try to find a place where I can take my mask off and talk to you guys today. But because of COVID and the restrictions, I want to make sure that everybody's doing what I'm doing and going around with their masks on. I know it's kind of annoying, but it's a little price to pay to make sure that everybody's healthy. There we go. I think I found a nice spot where we can have a chat for a bit. This week we're going to be talking about the temple. Now I'm not going to go into the specifics of all the details regarding the old Jewish temple. I'm not going to talk about all the stuff because it basically was what the tabernacle was, what we spoke about last week. So today, instead of talking about the temple and all its furnishing and all how fancy it looked like and how amazing it was and how it was destroyed, etc., you can look that up on YouTube. I'm actually going to be talking about what it really means to us as Christians here in the West in the 21st century. Both the temple and the tabernacle were really just designed as ways of containing God's presence, a way to actually house it, like vessels, like cups. God's presence is incredible and a really hard thing to contain. But this month we're really talking about how God made special places on earth so that His presence could be indwelling as a sign, as I remember that I told you about foreshadow, as a foreshadow of what God really wanted to do, and that's dwell in our hearts. Today we don't have a physical temple. Actually, the Jewish people are waiting for the day that they get to rebuild their temple. But this is the beauty about God, is that He never left us without a temple. What He did is He transferred that old system, the old way of doing things, and He placed a temple in our hearts. The Apostle Paul says that we are God's temple here on earth. We are His dwelling place. We are where His presence resides. And that's an amazing thought, because you have to go through a middle person. You have to go ask somebody to pray for you and do sacrifices for you, and they would go and ask God for you. You cannot go to God directly, but now, because that's been done away with and it's over, we get to walk into God's presence whenever we want, whenever we feel like, and speak with Him. And most importantly, He now dwells in us. Because we're God's dwelling place now, it means that wherever we go is holy ground. Wherever we stand is holy. I think the most important thing that we can remind ourselves this week or this month as you're talking with your crews is that the importance of knowing that Jesus dwells in us, that He is in our hearts every single day, that He goes wherever we go, that He is we are in His presence all the time, and as such we have to minister to Him. We have to keep working to make sure that our temple, that this physical form that He has given us, does and lives according to the way that He would like it to be, to honor Him. It's not about following a bunch of rules, guys. It's not about doing a bunch of rituals. It's about knowing that you are getting closer and closer in relationship to God. That's what being a Christian is all about. This month we talked about dwelling because we wanted to get you guys to understand that God doesn't dwell in some far off place up in heaven in the sky. He dwells in you. He's right beside you wherever you go. Now, I'm not saying that so you're freaked out every single time that God's watching you. That's not what He means. That's not what I mean. I don't want you to be afraid of God's presence whenever you encounter it. It is a beautiful thing. God is there to encourage you, to gently guide you, to give you counsel, to give you peace wherever you go. So you know that whenever you feel alone, you are never alone. If you ever felt by yourself, even amongst the crowd, I want you to remember this. You are not alone because the presence of God is in you all the time. And right now I'm in an empty courtyard, in the church courtyard. It's empty, but I know that God's with me here. Wherever I am, God goes with me because He's in my heart. He's in my soul and He's part of my life. So I want you guys to remember that. You are God's dwelling. It's not a fancy building. It is just simply you. The way you are is exactly the way that God intended His dwelling place to be. Because you are God's dwelling place, guess what? Everything you do technically becomes holy. Whether you play, whether you study, whether you play an instrument, everything becomes for His glory because you are His presence. Now that's why we strive to do our best, not because we have to achieve and gain the best grades or the best goals or become the best at something. Really, as Christians, we strive to do the best because it brings God glory. And that's really what the goal of all of our life should be, because we are God's dwelling place. We should live like that God is the best thing on earth, and we should be exemplary. Why? Because it gets people's attention when you do your best, doesn't it? That's it for me this week, guys. I'm so excited to see you guys at live stream next week. Please tune in. I'm gonna go right now and get some Starbucks because I want some Starbucks today. I don't know why. I don't even drink coffee, but I want to get some Starbucks. So thanks for joining me this month. We will see you next week at the live stream.